Hello, welcome to part 2 of the Kotare Spitfire project, and the first job is an awful lot of drilling. All the lightning holes in the Kotare kit are flashed over pretty much, and actually this wow stick is a little sort of pendril and it made short work of it actually, but you are going to get some burring, so a knife just sort of twisted around in the holes will get rid of most of it, and then you can just go in with a little bit of cement just to melt away any excess. You've got to keep your eyes peeled because these lightning holes in Spitfires are everywhere, and this row was on the floor. In the seat as well, these are I think they're for the flares actually, flare holders. And then on the cockpit sidewalls. And it does make a real big difference, so it's well worth doing. Just a dry fit there of the rudder pedal assembly. And the forward bulkhead, more lightning holes have been drilled out in that as well. And that's a bit of a theme in this kit, is precision, and test fitting is the way ahead. A stand is my silver paint of choice, and just holding the lower cockpit sides in with my finger and thumb means I could just go ahead and spray the silver on. So in Spitfires, the interior parts were silver lacquer, apart from where obviously the pilot sat, which was interior green, but silver lacquer down the back end and at the front actually, which is an easy one to miss, so don't forget to paint that silver. And all the frames were silver as well, apart from this one. This is the pilot's, where the seat mounts, pilot seat mounts, and the front part of that was green, but the rear silver. So that was a bit complicated. On to the interior green then. So this is MRP British interior green with a few drops of Soviet green wheel hub colour, because the instructions call out for supermarine green in a lot of areas, which was like an apple green. And just adding the few drops of that green actually, to my eye, looked really good, so I was happy with that. The colour call outs call for a mix of Tamiya paint, but I didn't have the relevant colours, and I prefer MRP anyway, if I'm honest. You see, this is all one part. This is a bit of a doctrine really, I suppose you could call it, for Kotare, is to minimise the parts count. So this is just one part, so that does lead to a complicated masking job. And you can see there the instrument panel details being removed, ready for the resin a little bit later on. So once everything was painted, so all the brush painting's been done as well, all the bits were given a gloss varnish and put in this little tub down here, and you can see there's not actually that many parts. All the black areas you can see were painted with Ammo's Atom paint, heavily thinned, so probably about 5 coats, so it's almost like a wash really that goes on, but it means no brush strokes at all, and you get that sprayed on look if you do that. This is that bulkhead where the seat attaches, so you can see how complicated the paint job on that was. And a little bit of extra wiring from stretch sprue on that bulkhead. Also stretch sprue wiring here on the undercarriage hand pump. And you can see a lot of detail painting required, and a lot of decals as well. So some of the decals, especially on that bit, less than 1 millimetre, which is why I didn't film it. So yeah, you can thank me later for that. Right, doing a wash now. Just black oil paint oil leached out on a piece of card, and then some Starship Filth, which is a ubiquitous colour, works really well. Some of the ammo thinner going in, and then we'll mix that up. And I'm looking for a consistency here that means it's going to flow really nicely and it's not too opaque. You see, that is too opaque and it's not flowing correctly, so just a few more drops required. And you'll see as I test it on the side, that's exactly the consistency I'm looking for, which means I can just touch it in place, use capillary action to help me out. But I do use the brush as well, especially along where some of the riveting is. You see, in I go. Now it's really important to let the wash fully dry. I normally leave it a good couple of hours. I hit it with a hairdryer as well, and I also blow it with compressed air, so essentially using the airbrush on its maximum setting just to make sure there's no wet wash anywhere, because you're not going to be able to clean it up properly if you do that. Using a cotton bud here to clean up the excess, and the cotton bud, when the wash is dry, means you can remove the excess and blend it as well, and you get a really nice graduation between the wash and the bare areas, and you just kind of burnish it all together, blend it all together, and it works really, really well. And I didn't have to use a brush to tidy anything up here, and it gives a sort of a grimy look whilst giving a load of depth as well. You can see how busy that panel looks with all the decals and all the detail painting, and the wash just makes everything pop. You'll see later what I did to this panel, this bulkhead, way over the top weathering, but it was good fun, and you're not really going to see it anyway. Now for some paint chipping, and just some chipping colour from the Atom range, and you don't really get much contrast using silver colour on this light green, so using that dark colour is it gives a really nice effect, I think. Couple of options in the seat, in the kit, is you can use the moulded in seat belts, which I didn't like, so I decided to use the set that was provided with the instrument panel from Edouard. As you can see, it's a bit too pale for my taste, so I did go in and give that a wash, and also paint the back side of it a khaki colour. And the wash I gave it was Trax Wash, which is like an orangey brown colour, which made it a little bit more warm, which was exactly what I was after. And I didn't bother removing the harness belts from the bottom of the seat. I just stuck the photo etch over the top, so yeah, don't bother removing that. No need. More masking, and this time VMS satin varnish over the painted areas. Well, it's all painted, but you know what I mean, the green and the black. And you get that really nice difference in sheen between the green and the silver lacquer, which again just adds another interest layer, I think. And you can see all matted down how effective it is on this panel. And bear in mind, that's just one part. You can see how busy it is with all the painting and the decals there, and the wash. Lovely job. I say lovely job, that sounds about me bigging it up. I'm actually saying lovely job to Kotare, because the moulding is just brilliant. There's a cockpit floor. I was going to weather the cockpit floor, a bit of dirt, but I didn't bother in the end, if I'm honest. More contrast chipping now. Silver on the armour plate. Very, very fine chips. Didn't want to go too mad here. And that's how minging I left that bulkhead. Ammo Ultra Glue to glue on the resin replacement instrument panel. Now I did sand all the detail off, and I did sand the lug off the resin as well. It is designed to sort of completely replace that top part, but I didn't like that idea because everything is so precise. So I just sanded the back of it, thinned everything down and glued it on, and I think you'll agree that looks great. And now to stick it all together, you really have to remove the paint here. The tolerance is so tight and so precise. So I push the part into place, apply the glue very precisely with that brush, and then just using quite a bit of pressure with the tweezers, the glue will actually melt a little bit of the plastic, will make any melt any excess paint away, and it will seat properly. And here I'm taking no chances with the rudder pedal assembly. Just using a skinny sanding stick, just removing that paint. Probably a little bit of plastic as well if I'm honest, which is no bad thing. And then that just pushes into place. Again, out with the glue. That's from Ammo. It's Ammo Extra Thin. It's good stuff. Just touch it into place, and then we'll go in and use the tweezers and squeeze everything down. Rudder pedals are next. Obviously painted separately, they glue in, and you'll note they're actually offset, which is a good thing because they've moulded the rudder offset as well, which, you know, attention to detail is absolutely fantastic in this kit. They've really thought about everything, Kotare. Two-part control column. I nearly used the Barracuda resin replacement, but in hindsight decided to use the kit part. I wanted to use as much from the kit as possible, and the kit part's really detailed anyway, not quite as refined as the 3D printed resin, but really very good. Armour plate just slots over the top. I do like this solution. I think that's better than Edward's solution with their photo etch plate. And then we can just feed in the photo etch harness through the gap, and then it's thin stuff, but there's a bit of spring to it. And what I felt, or what I found was, it actually holds the seat clear enough that you can get the glue in. I do actually get there a bit on my thumb, so let's wipe that away because there aren't any thumbprints anywhere. That would be bad. And then the location for the seat is really positive. That can just be pushed in, and then we'll back that up with a bit of extra thin, just touched in. Again, you can see how precise that brush is. Oh, I can't speak tonight. And that'll back everything up, and then we can put the bulkhead in place. Again, we'll push that in as far as it will go, having removed all the paint, or as much as we can. In with the brush, and then some pressure with the tweezers to squeeze it all down. You can see how busy that looks already. So removing the paint from the forward bulkhead. That's the Tamiya stuff going on. And then this is why I wanted to use the plastic mounting rather than the resin mounting, because I needed that to be all precise. This widget just gets glued in. Very positive fit. Almost didn't need glue. And you can see there the whole assembly now. These couple of boxes on the side are optional parts, so you know, take care, follow the instructions, make sure you fit the right parts, and I replaced those bits with wire as per the instructions. Talking of wire, so this is a retaining wire for the harness, and you can see there I've added all the control wires. It's all 0.2 nickel silver rod from Albion Alloys. The instructions are brilliant here. All the threading is really easy to follow. There's little holes where you need to thread things through. Unfortunately, none of those are pretty much visible, if I'm honest. Right, all the greeblies are being put onto the lower sidewalls as well. I say all of them, one or two maximum, and then having removed the paint from the lugs, the side portions just snap into place. Again, I've removed all the paint from all the mating surfaces, and just a bit of pressure, say a bit of pressure, quite a bit of pressure actually, and they'll just click into place. And then it's out with the Swedish blue clamps, and I put glue pretty much everywhere because I needed that all to be nice and solid, and that's pretty much it. That is the cockpit done, so we can get on with the airframe now, and that'll be part 3. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you then. Cheers, bye bye.